Shannon here with Shannon Sizzlen Stampers, and I'm coming to you from my studio in Southern Colorado. Today I am doing this video. It was a follow along for a specific girl or guys night out class, and it comes with a swag kit of materials as well. So there's free ribbon and some glitter dots and all kinds of fun things that came in this project. So when you get your kit, you'll need to sort through it and look at all the things. So for this class, this will be the follow along video instead of a written photo tutorial. So the first thing that we're going to make is we are going to start with the bag. Actually, no, let's just start with the tags. So this kit has several little tags, and the first one is very simple, and it is made, so we are using this tag buffet stamp set, and you're going to make one tag from the project kit. Now, if you want more and you're seeing this right now in December of 2020, go online at my website, sizzlenstamper.stampinup.net. Use host code JZ44GNF, and you can order it. This kit is actually half price right now, so it's $15, and you get 30 of these different types of tags, and they're very large. So just to give you an idea, there's a business card, and it's about the size of 2 business cards, the base tag. So the first stamp, or the first tag, is going to use the stamp set tag buffet in just a very minimal way. And you'll see we're going to use this again, the stamp set again on another tag. This class was just kind of designed to be a bag and tag smorgasbord. And then we were brought back up to red level in my area, so I had to kind of make sure that the smorgasbord made sense to go. So you'll see all I've done is I have stamped the 2 in the center of this small white strip. And these pieces, along with the gold twine, all came in this tag kit buffet. So it's pre-punched for holes. We're just going to punch that hole, and we're going to use some dimensionals. If you don't have dimensionals, you can feel free to just glue it flat. It will still be fine. If you happen to have dimensionals, awesome, use them. Everyone should own dimensionals. So again, like I was saying, right now, a lot of our stuff, holiday mini catalog, a lot of those things are on sale and they're retiring. So several of the items are on sale for like 10 to 50% off. Like I said, this tag buffet, 50% off. I encourage you to get on there and order it right away if you want more, because those won't last. So next is just putting the twine through there like so, and that's it. That tag is done. That's one reason I love that tag kit. They look gorgeous and super simple and fast to make. I made that in less, a minute. Okay, so that is tag 1. Tag 2. The next items are going to be featuring the cards, the Memory and More kit, the Wonder of the Seasons suite. So I'm going to really focus on the Memory and More cards and then the paper. And that is because those Memory and More cards are also on sale. They're retiring, but I believe they're also on sale, as is the Wonder of the Season paper. But it's absolutely stunning. So let's go ahead. For this one, we are going to use the ornament stamp out of here. And I hope I have my 1/8 hole punch with me. So we'll remove that too, and we'll pop our ornament on. And we're just going to stamp it on a scrap of Whisper White that's included in the kit, just like so. And then we are going to be coloring it. And for this one, I am going to use the Old Olives. And I am going to come in and use just a bit of Poppy Parade, I believe. And I'm not sure, I may use some ivory or bronze. So I'm just going to start, and I'm going to use the light Old Olive. And I'm going to come in with the dark Poppy Parade, just a little bit as these stripe accent. I just want a tiny bit of pop of red. I'm going to bring the dark kind of in. Stampin' Up! Does a really nice, and it doesn't matter if you get out of the lines because we're going to cut this out. So they've kind of given you the shadowing marks. So whenever those are there, I like to just use them. It makes me not have to think. And anytime that my brain doesn't have to think a lot extra, this past year and a half is good. And as it dries, it will all blend in nicely. And I think I'm going to go ahead and bring in a tiny, let's start with the ivory and see what we like for this. The ornament cap. I think I like that. I'm just going to put a little bit of bronze in there and go back over it with the ivory, because you're going to see I'm going to be using the gold as an accent on here. So now we'll just quickly cut the ornament out, and you will want to keep that little wire hook. You're going to want to keep that, and in fact go around it and leave yourself a decent little edge. That is because you're going to go back in with a 1/8 hole punch and punch a hole in there. Or a 1/16 would be even better if you've got one. Mine I loaned out and it's MIA, and we haven't gotten around to getting another one. All right, so that is my standard hole punch. One second. Well, we'll just go with it. You guys will know. It's just supposed to be a little tiny hole. Actually, I'll just make the hole with my scissor. My other one is in the other room. So I'm just going to make a tiny hole with that scissor. Ideally, I recommend, like I just snipped it, so no big deal. And you wouldn't even have to make the hole, because you're going to see what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt with my fingers, and we all know how that is these days for me, to tie a little bow with some of the gold twine that comes in that tag kit. Okay, just to note, it is the twine, because we're going to use gold cording as well, but for this I'm using the twine. And then I'll just grab a glue dot. So this might be even easier to do it this way. Sometimes I try to make things too difficult. I thought that I wanted it to look like it was, really being strung and hung through there, but as it turns out, apparently I don't. So I got an extra glue dot on my table, so I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to leave those long. Now, this is one of the cards. You get several. There's the back side, and I'm using this side. You get several different small cards and large cards with the Memory and More kit. And I've just punched a circle. Now this is the 1.5 inch circle of gold foil. And I'm going to put my ornament on top of there. With a dot, and I'm trying to decide think I'm going to have it kind of off center like so. We'll see. That's sometimes hard for me. And then I'm going to take my scissors and we're going to stamp the 2 again. And you could stamp any other saying, but since these are tags and I wanted to design the class to be very quick and easy, for tonight especially, we're just demoing the word 2. And I'm not sure I'm even going to love this, because this is what happens to me sometimes when I start making things. I'm like, don't love that. It's too big. And that's exactly what I'm thinking. I want it really to just slide in there. So I think we're going to just do a smaller, and it would be designed to where you would then handwrite who it goes to on the tag. I want to get it to where it slides in and can mimic, put a banner cut on the end of that. And then I'm going to slide it under from the ornament out like so. There. All right. Then the last step is to put a hole, punch a hole. And again, like I said, I would normally do that with my my 1/8 punch. But you see me leave again. I'm using our Playful Pet trim, the red and white. I'm just going to pick back up on that red. And you could also do the gold if you wanted. I just wanted to bring in a little bit more red and thought that would be kind of fun. Now I'm going to show you one other alternative of an all white tag, because I have it laying here and that hole is so big I'm not loving that red. You could also layer the 2 ribbons, would be nice. And every time I'm doing it, I like to do the lark's knot, which is fold my piece of ribbon in half so I have a loop and pull the tails through. And then I can tie this still up top. And then right there is where you could fill in your 2 and have it like so. So that is our next one. All right, so let me lay this ribbon down there so I don't have to. So that was our second tag. And we're moving on. Kind of clear my area just a little bit. My desk is so crazy because I just finished that 12 Sizzlen holidays craze. And I don't have everything yet reorganized. Okay. So now we're coming into some more tags. And I didn't bring my whole stash. I apologize, because I wanted to be able to show you. So in this Memory and More kit, there are cards this size, but then there are also cards that are 4x6. This was a 4x6 specialty. So this card, you get, I think there are 5 different cards. You get 2 each of them that have gold foil or red foil on the cards, and they're one-sided only. This one was long, and I've cut it in half to make a band effect on the mistletoe card. So just go ahead, and yours is already cut for you if you purchase the class. And I'm going to run it, I think, right across about the center middle. And depending if it's not exactly even, you just trim that up with your card. So now you have, I forget, I'm doing a pre-done video, not a Facebook Live, so I should be able to have my things facing me. Next, I have cut out from the Hippo Happiness dies, these coordinate size dies. Here again, we're going to use that 2. Again, you can use a different one if you want. You can have it have a Christmas saying if you want, but because it was designed as a tag class, there needs to be a space, for us to put who is getting this gift. So we're going to just kind of edge that in there fairly even. And I don't want to fully cover this up So I'm trying to debate. I think I'm going to do it like that. And for the mistletoe, this is also in that Memory and More kit, and it is self-adhesive, but I am going to go ahead and put, I want it to pop up a little bit. So we are going to stick that on. And if you don't like the stickiness, you can always take and powder that with some face powder or whatever you have. Okay, so we've got that looking like so. And we're going to take a bit of our gold cord. Whoop. And we're going to stick that gold cording kind of like lassoed into that center where it's self-adhesive already. And then you can kind of come from behind and pull your cording and kind of adjust it how you want. And then we're going to stick that right up here at the top edge like so. And the question today is going to be, how many times will Shannon get up from her desk to get an item that is needed for the project? Ooh, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my tag part on flat, mainly because that's easier to write. When you go back to write, it's hard to write on top of a, you know what I'm saying. Uh-oh. You have to be very careful with these. I'm going to try a different method because these glimmer dots, you can lose the gold piecing underneath if you're not careful. But I'm just kind of putting them on to mimic the little berries. I normally like to do rhinestones and such, but see how that's separated? That's why I can't do it with my scissors. Let's flip my pick tool and try the piercing tool. Okay, there we go. All right, so added some little, the tiniest size of the glimmer dots. Get rid of those little glue things. And last step again, punch a hole. And for this one, I'm going to bring back in that shaded spruce by doing a nice wide piece of shaded spruce. And to do that, you're going to have to pinch that fold to run it through. And pull it softly so that you don't rip your hole, because this is a much wider ribbon. Just be gentle, pull it back and forth. This might be one that you just glue onto the package. You don't necessarily have to tie it. So there is the second tag. Okay. So, oh, that's actually our third tag. I'm going to set these over here so I don't get confused. I must have been into the greens when I was really designing this, because I'm noticing that so far all the 3 tags I have done are green oriented. I'm coming into reds, I promise. Coming into reds now. So this tag is super, super quick and easy. And it is, again, another Memory and More card, but it has this open piece right here. And all we're really going to do is, I'm just going to show you how easy fancy tag making can be. This kit, remember, it comes with some self-adhesive items, some self-adhesive die cuts, and these words are some of them. This is the word believe. And it is a little bit tedious to get out. That's probably the hardest part of this tag, is trying to get your word out of there without ripping it. Now, if you do rip it, don't worry, it's fixable. So you're going to lay that believe right in the center. And you see I've got my L a little bit over. We're just going to leave that. And you can come back in with a pick tool and pull out that center of the L. You can do the same thing for the E, or you can leave them, whatever your heart's content is. And I'm going to leave this curling B out here, way out here. That was not my original intention, and you'll notice my L went down a little sideways. So that's the most difficult part of this tag, is to get those letters lined up when you go to lay them down. But seriously, even if you don't worry about it. People are not going to be upset over that. Now we're going to just put on a few of those gold glitter dots, which I apparently keep popping off onto my desk. This time I'm using the next larger size. Let's see if I can use the medium size successfully with my scissors. Okay. So that's how I'm going to do that. And then you have a gold star that you can put somewhere as well if you want, or you don't even have to use it. It's totally up to you. I was originally going to put it over my eye. I'm not even going to use it this time. So that's a very super easy one. And then you would handwrite the person's name right in there. And we're going to use the gold cord. So the gold cord comes in the duo with the shaded spruce ribbon that we used on the previous. So if you order that shaded spruce ribbon, you're going to have the gold cord as well. That makes for really, and if I were using the smaller punch, it would look much nicer because I wouldn't have all that open area. So that's the next one. That one's super easy and fast. Well, I won't say that, because getting those little letters off can be a little bit tedious. All right. Our last tag also features red. Well, we have one more tag, but it goes with the bag. So our last tag is this card, which says wishing you holiday cheer this season. And on the back, it's blank. It says believe. I like this one. And when you put your hole, you want to do it to where you don't intercede the believe, because I thought this might be a nice one to write a message on, if you so chose to do that. For this one, what we're going to do is we are going to use the three of the jingle bells. This is what a whole sheet of those things look like. So we're going to go ahead and put a dimensional on each of these. I was looking for my mini dimensionals, but that's all right. I think a whole one will fit on that, even the little bell. Okay. So, and then I'm just going to lay them how I want. And for this, I'm going to do a bell there, and I'm going to progressively go up like so. So those bells are all popped out. Now, of course, I love my Wink of Stella. So to make those bells look a little bit more shiny, I'm just going to go over them. If you don't have a Wink of Stella, this is just stepping it up a little bit. So it's not going to ruin the effect if you don't have Wink of Stella, okay? But if you do have it, get it out. It's to me, it's a thing that everyone's crafting toolbox or kit or shelf or room should have. Okay, now, once again, you notice that we have all those bells. So this time we're using the gold twine again from the Tag Buffet kit. This time, however, we're just going to do knots. And that's mainly because there are 3, and I don't think my hands could do bows. If you have enough twine and you want to try to do bows, you are more than welcome to do bows. We will grab our glue dots. And whenever I'm doing things like this, I tend to make them, the bows or the knots, and stick them all onto my glue dots, and then I go back and start putting them on. That way I don't lose those little tiny knots that I just made. Especially when you do them out of twines, the baker twines, or like this metallic twines, any of the twines, they're so fine and delicate. Then I'm just going to trim up my, I don't have my ribbon scissors, that's why I'm using these. Trim up anything that looks long or out of sorts. And you have a little bit of metallic on there. And then next, of course, is that punch. And for this one, oh, doggone it, Shannon. We're going to do the white. We're going to bring back in that white ribbon again. I had intended in your kit you actually have a real red sheer ribbon. Whatever reason, didn't bring that in with me. So in your kit, you are going to use the real red sheer ribbon. And that makes your tag for this one, okay? The real red sheer. I don't have that. So I apologize for that, but there you go. So that is that tag. You have a little bit of twine left over. You could also, around your red ribbon or whatever else, you could take a little bit of twine and, you know, make it extra sparkly by dressing it up like so. Okay. So there are 5 tags. Next, we are going to move on to our tag for our bag. First step, we're going to make the tag for this bag. All right, so here we go. In your kit, you have, this is another one of those 4x6 sheets that I've cut in half of the foils, so it's blank on the other side. This is red with the gold. You have a gold foil die from the Hippo and Friends. You have a lovely label, fancy label in the real red. And you have a gold reindeer from the Memory and More kit. We are going to probably go back and use this little 2 that I stamped earlier. So this is all about assembly. And to make this look a little fancy, we're going to give it a banner cut. So first step is to layer this on with some dimensionals, because we kind of want this to be a little bit fancy looking for the bag. And then you can just center this, even though it's not exact. Look how nice that the fancy lovely label punch looks on top of that Hippo die cut, Hippo and Friends die cut. Okay. Next, we are going to put on the reindeer. The reindeer is not as tedious as the word believe was, but it is a little bit tedious up by the antlers, but you saw how easy that came off. Super easy, right? So we're just going to stick him right in there. And you can lower him and get his antler all on. I purposefully like it hanging off a little bit. I don't know why. I just guess I do. And now we're going to, I'm putting my little labels at an angle. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I am intentionally putting those labels at an angle. And so go ahead and put those on with dimensionals at an angle. And then, of course, the two, remember what I said, always where you're going to write, you want those things to go on flat. Now, you could slide it completely under there to be completely flat. That's what I'm going to do. All right, next, I am going to put, where did my white ribbon go? Okay. Of course, now that I've found the right size, I actually need the larger punch because this one uses a wider ribbon, so it'll be fine. I'm going to punch my hole in there. And we are going to try to do a trio of ribbon here. So we are going to see how that works out. I gave you all kinds of ribbon in your kit cut, so you can kind of play with it and see how you want it to go. So what I'm going to try to do is layer my red organdy on top of the white linen. This is also one that's beautiful and comes in our kits. And then I'm going to come over it like so. And you'll see why I want to add this white. I want to pull in the white too off of the tag, but the bag fabric, the bag paper is a lot of white and it's gold, white and gold, but I wanted the red to pop on the tag to be very dramatic. And then I'm going to come back in here. And again, I'm going to do that little gold with the cord. And the nice thing about using the gold cord is you could just tape or tie the gold cord piece on to the package, and then you still have those nice red and white tassels. All right, so that is the sixth tag. And this tag is designed to go with the bag that I'm going to teach you. This bag has been one that I have shown in classes and at a retreat, I believe, but people have, I've never done a tutorial or a video on it, and people have asked for the dimensions and how to make it. So I'm going to show that to you today. Of course, this requires several scores, so I'm going to be using my scoring tool. The first thing that you need to decide is where your top of your paper is and your bottom, because it will make a difference in the scoring, okay? So this is the top, okay? So I'm going to turn it like this. This is my top of my paper. I am going to score it at 2 inches. That's going to create the bottom of my bag. I'm going to score it at 10 inches. That is going to create the top of my bag. Now I'm going to turn it, and I am going to score it at 3.5, 5.5, 9, and 11. Okay. I'm going to pull my scoring tool away. So it's very important. If your paper doesn't matter top and bottom, then you don't have to worry about it. But if it does, like this one, you have to pay attention. Now you're just going to go through and do your folds, fold the scores. Okay. And then for the top, you will, for this particular bag, I'm going to give it a band. And I know that the words are going to be upside down, but I don't think it's really going to matter. If you don't want the band and you just want a tall bag, just don't do that scoring. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. In fact, I'll do mine without, we'll pretend that I didn't square along there. So to create the bag, in essence, you think about you're creating a box, okay? Now, that's in essence where you're going to eventually land, is like this. But you need to cut out so that these will make sense when they come up and in to make, to make your box. We're going to cut along these score lines, okay? So, tag cut. So you're going to take your scissors and go from the score up to the score going horizontal. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right. Because now it's like a bag, right? Or a box. You can kind of see how that's going to come together. And we don't need this corner piece at all. So we'll just cut that out. I know you guys get real life stamping with me. I'm saving that because it's got gold foil. Okay. Now, another thing I like to do is just to make these slide in a little bit better. I sometimes like to just take a little snippet out of these little edges to make them a little bit more narrow. And that's just so that as you go to put it together, you can see how it will fit. This is going to be on the inside, so you want to pay attention to that. And normally, if you have tear tape, that's what I would suggest for this. Because I'm going to demonstrate it on the video, I'm going to just use my tear tape. So, or not my tear tape, my Snell, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right along that edge, or you can use the Seal Plus. Now you're going to want to bring in the, so I'm going to run my seal, and I've already put seal there, so I have to pay attention. This is where sometimes tear tape can be handy because you can put it all on and then you can go back and work on it. Then I've pulled it up, so hopefully that you can see that. Now I'm going to bring this over, and you're just matching it edge to edge as perfectly close as you can get it. Line it up. Yeah, I'm wishing I would have done my Snell a little bit more, so. Okay. Or you could always run your adhesive. I think I will do that as well. Run my adhesive on this side as well. Okay. So, line that up. This is actually a very easy bag once you've made one. And you may have to go back and watch the video a few times, but once you make it, it really, from a 12 by 12, it really is just about scoring, making those few trims on your line, and then adhesing it. And that's really all it is, okay? So now I have this tall box, a tall bag. If I had done the folding, you would have folded that down and then you would have had that black and white brim. Now, see how I can pinch that in? So by making it tall, I can do a fold over like this. And that's what I'm going to do for this bag. And I'm going to punch my hole about center in there. And then I can run, for this one, I'm going to run my white. I'm going to take half of my white and my red ribbon. And of course, you wouldn't put your tag on until you've filled your bag. But I'm going to have to squish that up. I hope I'm staying in frame. I've been a little crazy today. Okay. So I've got half half of my red and half of my white ribbon through there. So now you can just take and knot. I'm going to knot the white ribbon and leave my red ribbon alone, okay? And that's all there is. And I just showed you a fold over, so lunch sack style, lunch sack type top. And you just can kind of crease those in on the sides with your fingers based upon what all you have put in your bag. So I hope that you love that bag. It's so super metallic-y and sparkly for the holidays. So let me just show them all to you again. Here's the bag with that tag. So that is our bag and tag smorgasbord. And here are all the easy tags that we've made. So we've got that one, this one, this one. So I hope that you really enjoyed that kit. I hope that you use your bag and tags for this holiday season and brighten and send a little bit of fancy cheer to people during this COVID Christmas. But again, people have been wanting me to show this bag for quite a while. So this was the opportunity that I took to do it with Christmas. If you have any questions, rewatch the video, but always you may message me. You can find me on Facebook when you search Sizzlen Stamper, Shannon Miller. Go to my website, shop if you'd like to order something. And don't forget, during this holiday craze, well, I'm extending the holiday craze with Stampin' Up's year-end sale. Go to my stamp site website and use this host code JZ44GNF. But those are all the projects that are coming in your kits for those of you who ordered this GNO class. And on top of all your materials here, you'll be getting some gold glimmer dots, and you'll be getting a roll of ribbon and another little surprise in there. So I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.